The cutest alien of destruction from outer space is coming to the big screens on May 23rd this year. And yeah, we're talking about Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. I mean, I haven't been this excited for a Disney movie since forever. A live-action remake of this beloved work was long overdue. And unlike others that needed to wait a few more years, Lilo and Stitch is just ripe for a big screen live-action adaptation. So here in this video, we will dive into all about the blue little fuzzy alien. So Experiment 626, which is the original name for Stitch, was the brainchild of an alien scientist known as Dr. Jumba Jookiba, also a self-proclaimed evil genius but was then termed as an idiot scientist by his peers. Jumba engineered Experiment 626 to be a nearly indestructible force of chaos. The little creature was made to dismantle and wreak havoc across the galaxy. Jumba himself was born on a planet called Queltaquan. There he began his career by creating a series of illegal genetic experiments, but was eventually banished as a result by the United Galactic Federation. But he still continued his work, and both Jumba and another of his accomplices called Hamstervale would then be arrested right after the creation of Experiment 626, better known to most as Stitch. But in reality, Stitch wasn't really fully finished or complete and needed a little bit more of some molecular enhancements. So Stitch, his primary purpose was, as envisioned by Jumba, was to cause widespread destruction and to showcase his capabilities in genetic engineering. However, upon Jumba's arrest and 626 acquisition by the United Galactic Federation, things went haywire. Stitch was supposedly being exiled and sentenced to live on a deserted asteroid in the middle of nowhere. But as a surprise to everyone on the Galactic Council, 626 showed his cunning and resourcefulness. He escaped custody, stole a police spacecraft, and zoomed away, which led him to crash land on Earth. So originally he was meant to land on Kansas, but the makers of the cartoon changed it to the Hawaiian island of Kauai to make the story less complicated if supposedly the experiment meant for total destruction was to land in a populated zone. So an isolated place was chosen instead. There, he encountered a young girl named Lilo Pelekai, who initially mistook him for a dog and adopted him in a shelter house, and naming him Stitch. This unexpected turn of events led to Stitch on a journey of self-discovery, challenging his own destructive pre-programming and in the end redefining his purpose and existence. Okay, so Stitch was actually designed by his voice actor Chris Sanders. He is seen as a small blue alien mammal standing about 2 or 3 feet tall. He looks a lot like a mix between a koala and a French bulldog, especially when he's trying to blend in. Throughout the animations, humans often mistake him for one or the other, and really couldn't pinpoint to which exactly. He has sharp teeth, a long pink tongue, and a little stumpy tail. And while he can't shapeshift completely, Stitch still has the ability to tweak his appearance a bit. In his natural form, he has 4 arms, antennae in his head, and 3 spines running down his back. But when he needs to pass as a regular Earth creature, he can retract the extra arms, antennae, and spines, making him look like an odd little dog. This handy trick helps him move around unnoticed and to fit into different situations more easily. Now, Stitch is a deeply complex character, as he was made and initially designed for chaos and destruction, but ultimately proving that he has the will to choose his own path, which is the theme of the franchise, that you have the power to change your destiny and that you are not what others make of you. Initially, his aggressive and temperamental nature makes him really unlikable by most people, except Lilo, though even she does struggle with him at times. While some characters view him as ugly and deformed, those who love him see him as cute and fluffy, which also reinforces the idea that appearances don't define your worth. Despite his immense strength and intelligence, Stitch is still emotionally fragile, often behaving like a child, throwing tantrums, and this is something believable as he was a new creation and have not had the chance to grow and mature, something which Lilo understands, as it might also have stemmed from his past trauma and lack of acceptance. And so over time, Stitch grows into a more well-meaning and self-aware being, though he still struggles with impulse, destructive tendencies. He is fiercely loyal to Lilo, and while many assume she depends on him, it is often the other way around. She helps him find purpose and belonging. Even after learning to control his impulses, Stitch is prone to outbursts, especially towards inanimate objects like the toaster, which he has destroyed multiple times out of frustration. Despite this, he occasionally shows maturity beyond even Lilo, recognizing when she acts selfishly. And by the end of the series of movies and animations, to everyone's surprise, especially Jumba and the councilwoman of the Galactic Federation, they find out that Stitch has found true friendship, family, and a purpose, and also a place where he belongs: Hawaii. Now let's take a look at some of his abilities. So Stitch is basically a superpowered little monster packed with all kinds of insane abilities. For starters, he is ridiculously strong. He can lift 3,000 times his weight, but not an ounce more than that. That is the limit. He can stop an 18-wheeler vehicle on its tracks and casually toss around cars. His body is as tough as nails, making him fireproof, bulletproof, and able to survive massive falls, explosions, and even getting run over by multiple trucks. He also got crazy stamina, barely ever getting tired no matter how much he exerts himself. On top of that, Stitch is insanely smart, thinking faster than a supercomputer, learning languages instantly, and solving puzzles in seconds. His agility and reflexes are off the charts, letting him scale walls, leap huge distances, and dodge energy blasts like it's nothing. His vision is also next level, with night vision, infrared, X-ray, and even electromagnetic sight. Plus his hearing and smell are super sharp. And to top all that, he's basically ageless, as he doesn't seem to age or get any older. But even though Stitch is a powerhouse, he has a few weaknesses. His biggest one, water, surprisingly, and ironically, since he is in Hawaii. He is super dense, so he sinks like a rock, and originally he has an instinctive fear of water, though Lilo would actually help him get over that. Also, he has a major glitch, as was seen in Stitch Has a Glitch. And here, it is seen that his molecules weren't fully charged during his creation since Jumba was arrested, and this made him imperfect and incomplete, and it makes him randomly lose control and go into destructive fits. Luckily, Lilo's love fixed that for good. Another weird weakness is Krenozite, and that is if he eats a mix of rubber like some from a tennis shoe and macadamia nut oil. And here, if he does that, all his combat skills will get wiped out. Funny enough, he is also made up of 62.7% mucus, and if too much gets drained, especially from his button nose, he gets weak and exhausted, much like how people get dehydrated. And lastly, his super sensitive hearing can backfire, as sonic blast or sensory overload can temporarily make him deaf, so making loud noises is a rare but effective way to mess with him. Stitch ultimately finds a permanent home on Earth with Lilo and her family. After all his adventures, after fighting rogue experiments, bonding with Lilo, and proving that he can be good, he stays on the island of Kauai as part of Lilo's ohana, which is the word for family. In another work called Lilo and Stitch, which was the final movie in the original series, the Grand Councilwoman offers Stitch a high-ranking position in the Galactic Alliance, but he chooses to stay with Lilo instead. And by the end of the film, he's fully embraced his life on Earth, helping to protect the planet alongside his newfound extended family. And so with that, we end this video on Stitch, his origins, biology, and his fate on Earth. Leave a like for support and also subscribe if you haven't. Take care, fam.